So we're on the last part of Ike version 2, and this is a revised version of the picture that was on your slide. Basically, I have added English on the top, and the original text is on the bottom of each line. So first thing is the initiator and the responder. So anybody could be initiator, could be responder. So it doesn't say client and server. Whoever initiates is on the left side, and and the first two messages are all in clear. So the first message is, here is my algorithms, my public key and my nonce. So DH public key, Diffie-Hellman public key, remember, is simply alpha and then alpha raised to some number. So you send those two things here, and my nonce and the algorithms that you support for cryptography, etc., etc. So that in programming language would mean header for the Ike messages SA1. It should be SAI actually. SAI and NI, the nonce, initiator's nonce, and SA is basically the security associations for the initiator. And the responder basically selects that and says, well, here is my nonce, here is the one that is selected from your offered algorithms. And so these two things are in clear. This is a typical Diffie-Hellman. Actually, it is not complete Diffie-Hellman because yeah, okay. All right, so this is basically all goes in clear. Now from here, these things are encrypted. All the rest of the messages are encrypted, and I have used the same notation that we used before, where E parenthesis, the first thing is the key, and then whatever is encrypted. So header followed by some, header is in clear, followed by something which is encrypted with the SK. Okay, where SK is the key that has been computed from this Diffie-Hellman thing. And what we have encrypted here is IDI, initiator's ID, certificate from the initiator, certificate request from the initiator, ID of the recipient, of the responder, authentication. Basically, authentication generally is something which is like a challenge. And if you know the key, if somebody knows the key SK, then they can figure out what it is and then they can send it back. SAI is basically that algorithm. And then TS1 and TSR, TSI and TSR, they look like one, but they are eyes, okay? So initiators, traffic selectors, and the responders, traffic selector. What is a traffic selector? So actually next slide explains what is traffic selector. For now, right now, basically all it means is that when you get a packet, if it has this IP address, if it has this port numbers and this protocol type, then that belongs to this thing that we are negotiating, this SA. So based upon the header of the packet, you will select the SAs, the security associations, and so that is specified here, the TSI and TSR. The response is okay, same thing basically. They also respond encrypted with the same key. Actually, it's not the same key. I will explain the key in a minute. And then the ID, certificate, authentication, SAR2, TSI, and TSR. So basically, these same things, selectors are sent back for this direction, selectors are sent back for this direction. So this is the first four messages are basically done in the Ike. Now this is just for handshake. So real data doesn't, when you want to send real data, which is after the handshake, then you set up new SAs, new security associations. And for each new security association, you need a new key. And so this is how you do it. Set up other assays basically. Let's set up a new assay with this key and traffic selector. So now you have this master key. You can send these things encrypted with that master key, and that includes KEI. So that is the key from the initiator. And on this side, you get KER, the key from the responder. So there are two different keys. In fact, there are 4 different keys, and we'll see in a minute how they are 4 different. But basically, each side has its own key, which is different. And this is sent encrypted with SK. Okay. Now, this is somewhat repeat of the previous thing, except that this is basically the master key is not used very often. It is just used to send the session key, which is this here. And that session key is used for this assay, and then the next assay you will have new key, and the next assay you will have new key, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, in between, if something wrong happens on any assay, you get a packet that you don't know what to do with it, or something is delayed, or something is unexpected, then you have these alert and the error messages. So alert messages are simply, again, encrypted with a key, and it says this is a notification, or you need a delete or configuration change or whatever. So these alerts are sent, the alert messages are sent encrypted, and same thing on the other direction. All right, and is notification, these delete. So this is the key to decrypt and to decipher what is written here. So basically, header, the security association keys, nonces, and then basically traffic selectors, etc., etc. So this key summary again, as we saw before, is that the master key is just used for the initial handshake, generated from the initial handshake. But then every time you have a new association, you select a new key. Any question about this? I mean, actually, the next slide has a little bit more detail. So let me just go through that. SK that we said is called SKey seed. So that is the master key or the seed key, and that is the one that is generated by Diffie-Hellman exchange. And then a pseudo-random function is used with SK to generate all other keys. So we saw it in WPA2 in Wi-Fi, when we were talking about Wi-Fi, that you have the pseudo-random function to it, you feed some numbers and secrets, and the output is a big sequence, and from that big sequence you generate all other keys. So you might generate it maybe 5,000 bits, and then first 512 bits for this key, and next 512 bits for encryption, and next 512 bits for message authentication. So you can, as many keys as you need, you can just get the bits from the master key, from this key, and a pseudo-random number function. And there are total 4 keys per SA. There is an encryption key, there is an integrity key, and then other side, same thing, encryption and integrity. Okay, 4 keys. And traffic selectors specify the address range. So generally what happens is, when you are using IKE, it could be that the 2 routers are talking to each other using IKE and IPsec. So they might just not have one address. They might say, traffic selector says, well, if you find the addresses from 192 point star to 193 point star, then that is this assay. It's a range. Okay. So the address range, ports, again could be a range, and the IP protocol type. So that is what is in the payload for the SA. Okay. So this could all be wildcarded. So back to this. Any question about this? Make sense what is happening? Somewhat. Basically, you just, in the beginning, you do Diffie-Hellman to find out what your key is, and then you do certificate exchange. See, the certificate exchange is the one that really fixes the problem of the Diffie-Hellman, where Diffie-Hellman, somebody could be in the middle, and then they would not, so you not authenticate. You are authenticating here with that. And then, so there are certificate and certificate request. And then once you have the master key, then you can use it to generate other session keys. And each session starts with these 2 messages. The whole thing starts with 4 messages like that. 2 of which are encrypted and 2 of which are clear. IKE version 2, I have put the reference here. And so there are several things which are not clear in the book, very clear in the book. And so this reference, the RFC for 5996, which is September 2010, is the latest version of the RFC for IKE. And it's more clear actually. I mean, of course, it is 130 pages long, so it can be more detailed. But if you ever run into a question as to how this is done, what is a traffic selector, the book doesn't talk about many of these things. So much of this information, comes from that RFC. And these 2 slides are not in your package. I mean, there is an older version of this slide, and this slide I just added. So I will put this in the PDF, the revised PDF, and you can download that. Rest of it is as before. So continuing on handout, you have the header. So the IKE header is as follows. You have the SPI from initiator side and from the responder side, 2 SPIs. So these are basically indexes into the table. Then the next payload. So the next payload is what is inside this thing. And then major version and minor version. So they have 2 version numbers here. Okay, like 3.6. So major version 3, minor version 6.6. Exchange type. So that is basically what kind of message is this payload is this again. And flags, details, and the message ID, sequence number, the length of everything. This is the header. And then you might have the payload. The payload will have again next payload, and then payload length, and then the payload itself. There is 1 bit here, C bit, which is called criticality bit, which if it is 0, that means ignore, and 1 means discard with payload not understood. So there are 2 actions you can take. If you understand the payload, of course you should do whatever is required to be done. But if you don't understand, then 2 actions. If this bit is 0, then you ignore the whole message. If this bit is 1, that doesn't make sense. Basically, generally what happens is when you have criticality, then with 1 you have to disconnect, basically. If it is critical and you don't understand the critical message, then you say, sorry, I don't understand, and we are going to give up on this connection. So that is what it means. Now it says 0 is ignore and 1 means discard. I think that is equal, discard is equal to ignore, so that doesn't make sense. Okay? So basically, 1 means critical, and that would mean that you just not only discard, you take more action, which means that you probably are going to reset the connection or start the negotiation or use a new key or something like that. The payload types we talked about here. Next payload. There are many of them. Security association, key exchange. Now, this is important. First line is important. I will come back to that in a minute, but let's just go through the list here. The key exchange, Diffie-Hellman. So this is basically the Diffie-Hellman parameters. IDs, certificate request. And in the certificate request, basically you put what CAs that you know about. So you just put the CAs and then they have to provide a certificate from one of those CAs. Authentication. So this is that auth thing. How do you authenticate the other side? Nonce, notify, delete, notify for any of those alerts. Delete this SPI. Vendor ID, traffic selector, encrypted. So these are the things that we have seen before. When you want to send these, you put that type in the front so they know that this is a selector, this is a configuration, this is encryption. Now, the first thing. security association. So basically, here, these SAs, these algorithms, what you do is you negotiate. And the negotiation is a little bit complicated. Basically, negotiations consist of a number of proposals. So you propose, I can use 3DES or I can use AES. Each proposal has a number of protocols that can be used inside that. Inside each protocol, you have to select a transform and a set of attributes that you will select that. So this is basically 4-level hierarchy in transform. Basically, the book doesn't say much about what is transform, but basically it is, when you have a proposal, let's say AES, then you might have to say what are the other details of that AES, and then one of them will include attribute would be like 128-bit for sure, and then there are other. So you might have many proposals. For each proposal, many protocols. For each protocol, many transforms, and for each transform there are many attributes. So it's a whole tree that you send, and then they select one set, or a set of sets in that tree. Now there are two different kinds of suites. Now we saw that proposals, right? So there are two different sets: VPN A, which is the older version, and VPN B, which is the newer version. Older version allowed 3DES, the newer version does not allow 3DES. Only AES, everything is AES based. And so you send a proposal for each of these actions, for encryption, for integrity, for IKE, and again, for many different, IKE integrity, IKE encryption, IKE pseudo-random function, IKE DH group. So you have to select options here. These are the VPN A options, and this is for the VPN B. You select 2048-bit MODP. So this is actually the Diffie-Hellman group. And there are two of them specified. If you go to that RFC that I mentioned a minute ago, at the end of the last part of that RFC, they have two values specified. Now I forgot what MODP stands for, but basically that is the modular. Basically, when you do modular computation, so that might be the random number basically. Yeah. So that is basically the quantity. So they have a number there listed, which is 2048 bits. They are listed from 2048 bit in hex, and then 1024 bits. There are two of them listed there, and people just use those numbers for all over the world. So you don't have to compute the random number, large random numbers. Those are specified in that RFC. Now the rest of these are CBC, XCBC, pseudo-random function, etc., etc. These are all the algorithms that are now recommended that you use this and not VPN A. VPN A is used if you have another device on the older device on the other side, then for compatibility. Then there is something called NSA Suite B, and this is actually a recommendation from NSA that if you want to use any sensitive information, and this is sensitive information, then you should use this set, and so this is even stronger than what we saw before. Okay, and we have already talked about GCM, GMAC before, and then all these are algorithms for hashing and encryption and so on and so forth. Now, when you say ECDSA, that means elliptic curve digital. Sorry, not digital. It is a digital signature algorithm. Okay, elliptic curve. So there is a lot of elliptic curve now in these things. So in VPNB there was none. Elliptic curve. But here we are moving to elliptic curve nowadays. So there you will see the EC at many places. That brings us to the end of this chapter. Basically, IPsec provides authentication, confidentiality, and key management. So we saw that the key one in the last thing we already saw a minute ago, IKE, but authentication and confidentiality are done by AH and ESP, which we discussed in the very first class. Authentication header for authentication using HMAC, and ESP is the encryption, encapsulating security protocol for confidentiality, but it also provides authentication as well. And so these apply to all the security associations are one way. So security associations are if you want to talk two ways, then you basically have to set up two associations, one from left to right, another from right to left. And and sometimes you can put many associations into a bundle, and you can handle the whole bundle like we saw before. Now both AH and ESP can be used end to end with but from client to client, or but from router to router. From router to router, it is called tunnel. From router to router, so I'm just let me see. Both can be used end to end with digital IP header inside tunnel or without IP header transport mode. So without the original transport mode. So basically, the end to end. End-to-end, it looks like to me transport mode. So the order is wrong here, but let me just double check that. Okay, so when you do end-to-end, that is transport mode. And when you do gateway to gateway, that is tunnel mode. So in the tunnel mode, the original IP header is inside. In the transport mode, the original IP header is removed. So that sentence in the summary has to be rewritten. We have to rewrite this. Both can be used end to end with original IP header inside, and that should be tunnel. That is correct, but that is not end to end. With original IP can be used router to router. Can be used router to router with original IP header inside.